FSU famo, it's your boy, Polk County Noel. This episode is going to be about the state of the program, trending up, down, where we go from here. Should Coach Taggart be on the hot seat? Should he be just flat out fired? That's what I'm going to run down today. Before I get started, next week, but really this week, Sunday. Sunday's the start of the week, but Monday's really the, week. That's rivalry week. That's when I'll get into my Miami stuff. Not really going to cover that Miami stuff right now. This is more of a, we're 4-4. This is more of a, mid-season review, basically, of what we've seen so far this season, where this program's going, up, down, round and round, What have I liked seeing, but, obviously what we don't like, being 500 football team. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to cover. Before I get started again, follow me on Twitter at AdrianLowe863. I talk a lot of Florida State stuff on there, too, if you want. Lost my track of thought here for a second. My bad. I forgot what I was about to say. But, yeah, if you like what you see, man, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me clean my camera. Sorry. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Like what you see. The channel, it's actually shown a little bit of growth here. I'm excited. I got people following me that like what they see. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I actually got one dislike on my last video, which excited me because that means I got a hater out there somewhere, and you ain't making it until somebody hate what you're doing. So that's good stuff. Let's get into the state of FSU football. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, FSU football is, in my opinion, just like its record suggests. We are in the middle, 505. I do not believe we are this dumpster fire that people are trying to paint it out to be. I do believe that we've had some bad mishaps. We've lost some games we should have won. But I think the positive of that is we've also beaten the teams like we should have beaten. We didn't go out there and lose to Syracuse. We got close with UNL Monroe. That could have really been a killer to any type of positive talk regarding Coach Taggart. But we didn't lose that game. Regardless of how we won it, we didn't lose it. And I think we're in the middle, man. Last year we were worse, and it was trending downwards last year because the year Jimbo Fisher left, we were barely made a bowl game. We got worse, and I think we're trending back up. We're kind of roller coastering right now. I want to see the trend continue, but I think we're trending back up, and I think what you have to be excited for, or at least optimistic about, is that we are young and we're growing. This isn't a team full of seniors. It is a team, we got a team of sophomores, and but I think some key players are really young players in terms of going forward. So our best players, obviously, are juniors. That's Cam. That's Marvin. I know Terry's a sophomore, but he's a redshirt sophomore, so I put him in that mix. Those are our best players. Got it. But when you got Donta Lucas on the offensive line as a true freshman, that's a positive. You build that. When you got another true freshman in Darius Washington at left tackle, you build that. Like you're building on those things. Defensively, like your young linebacking core, you build on that. Jaleel McCray, you build on that. Coop's only a sophomore. I think Durden's only a sophomore. I know you're losing Marv, but there's some things there. That secondary is young. Santi Samuel, Keem Dent. These are guys that are starting in the secondary and they're young. We need to move on from Stanford Samuel. I've said this in the past, but more to come on that. So we have some positives, I think, that we can look forward to. The state of the football program isn't as bad, in my opinion, as some of these other programs out here. Granted, I don't follow Nebraska. I don't follow Tennessee. I don't know their rosters. I don't know the makeup of them. I just know that they're bad. They're worse than us. Period. I just know Miami is in a very similar situation to us. The problem is they're in their first year, their head coach. After a lot of people thought that he was a home run hire. I thought it was a lazy hire from the jump. And I told people that I'm friends with that are Miami fans that I was an hire. I thought they needed to go out there and they needed to make a culture changing splash, and they didn't. And you see the residuals of that hire now. As far as we are concerned, if our coach, this is where it gets difficult for me, because I do not want to see him fired, and I probably want to see him succeed more than anybody, any other Florida State fan out there. And I don't have any connection to Coach Taggart. I just want to see a black man succeed. I'm not going to lie to you. And the fact that he has struggled the way he is has been tough on me, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm going to call a spade a spade. There's certain things that he has to improve on. And there's certain things that I think he gets criticized for that is ridiculous. I want to touch on one of those things off the jump. The fact that he needs to show more fire on the sideline. Look, every coach isn't like that. Coach Dungy, I don't think, did we ever see Coach Dungy? No, but he's a Super Bowl winning football coach. And he built Tampa Bay. He should have been two-time winning Super Bowl coach because he built Tampa Bay into what they were. I don't recall ever seeing Coach Dungy be out there screaming and hollering like like some of these other, like, you don't have to be that guy. We got this misconception of what a head coach is and isn't from people, especially that never even put on a pair of pads. Everybody's demeanor is different. Everybody leads in different ways. That's just how it is. Speaking from a person that's profession is to lead. You don't have to be out there rah, rah, rah. A lot of times you can lose people like that. A lot of times people like a quiet, strong, confident person, just from my own personal experiences. Now, so I think that's a ridiculous thing to criticize him on. Something that needs to be criticized about him, I think he has mismanaged game clock. He's mismanaged challenges. He's done a lot of mismanaging coaching-wise. That's unforgivable. So you mismanaged last week's coaching and almost essentially froze your own kicker on a 50-yard field goal. Yeah, I can't forgive you for that. You need to be called out on that. If I go to last year, in the Virginia Tech game, in the first game of the season, FSU, they throw a pass to Nooney Murray. Nooney scores the touchdown because he rolls over the defender and into the end zone. They don't call it a touchdown. Instead of taking the time to review that, because it would have been a touchdown, you try to fast snap it, get like 2 false starts in a row. You don't get any points. You don't get a touchdown out of that situation because you didn't take the time to assess the situation and say, yes, we want to go fast, but we also want to score points and do the right thing and have the right play. Those are the situations. The numerous amount of times people have that we've cut that down this year, but last year, if we didn't line up wrong 5 times a game on offense and get penalties for that, it was ridiculous. Those are the things that, yes, I got to blame coaching for. Those are the things he gets no passes for. But because he doesn't coach the way you want him to coach, no. I'm not gonna criticize him for anything of that nature. Just apple juice. It just hitting different. But my biggest criticisms of Coach Taggart and what he's gotta get a grip on. And I don't know why he hasn't, because I think, and of all the things, in my opinion, I think especially what I'm about to say, I think this is the easiest thing he can control. And that is the personnel decisions. Not so much on the coaching, because I understand that has money involved. When you hire a guy, you don't want to have to pay a guy to leave. I get that, and I'm not talking about that. When I say personnel decisions, I'm talking on the field. I'm talking and I hate to say it like this, but I'm talking about maybe throwing a kid to the side and saying, I don't really need you anymore. And it sounds really bad to say that. But you know who I know does that for a fact? Nick Saban does it. Nick Saban does not hesitate to tell a kid, we don't need you anymore. Nick Saban might not act like it, but this is the same guy who will recruit he'll over-recruit numbers, knowing good and damn well a lot of those kids are going to have to leave the program and go to a JUCO or something, but he is not about that. You know why? You got to get the best players on the field. He'll get mad if a guy wants to transfer, but he didn't hesitate in telling a guy like Jalen Hurts, we're going in another direction. That's my point. Dabo Swinney did it with Kelly. With a true freshman Trevor Lawrence, he said, man, we're going in another direction. And for whatever reason, Taggart won't pull Stanford Samuel to the side and say, man, we need to go in another direction. Won't pull DJ to the side and say, man, we need to go in another direction. Seems like they've done it on the offensive line with Darius Washington. It seems like they've said, Juwan, Bella, we're going in another direction. But that's what I need. That's what I want to see more of. Of saying, man, we just got to. Sorry, we just got to play who we got to play. And personnel decisions in the sense of we got to stop playing guys out of position. We're still playing Akeem Dent at safety for some reason, and I am not a fan of that. Now, I do understand the notion of you want your DBs to be interchangeable, hybrids, play any position in the backfield. I get it. But you also need to coach a kid to his strengths and put a kid in the best position he can be in to win and make plays. And I'm not sure Akeem Dent's really a safety. I feel like you can sit Stanford's ass on the bench, put Akeem Dent in Stanford's role, throw another guy out there at safety. So those are my real criticisms of Coach Taggart. Managing the freaking game, managing your players in terms of getting them on the field, who not to play, who should play, and where they should play, and coaching fundamentals. We're really bad at tackling still. We're not very good tackling football team. Those kind of things I will put on coaching all day, every day. I will not criticize a coach because he don't coach the way I want him to coach in terms of his demeanor. That is stupid. But that shows the nitpicking that we've done with Coach Taggart. Right? Because these are the same people that don't like Coach Taggart's calm, cool demeanor. That I remember Jimbo Fisher grabbing a Jameis by the face mask and getting in his grill. These are the same people that were like, is Jimbo Fisher going overboard? Oh my God, why would he? Like, that's what they do. That's what they do. They'll find any reason that if Taggart was out there yelling and screaming at refs and players, they tell him, oh, maybe he would connect better with his players if he toned it down a little bit. He obviously has a great connection with his players. After the Syracuse game, a dickhead FSU fan, I think he screamed like F you at Coach Taggart. And, there were other fans and there were other players that went to Coach Taggart's defense. That's extremely different than when people were requesting Jimbo Fisher to get rid of some coaches. Like, you felt the need to say F you to a man that has no bearing on your life. Come on, man. But, there's a lot of reasons for that as well. So, yeah, I'm going to criticize the coaching staff on that regard. As far as the state of the program going forward, man, Again, I think it's indicative of our record. Right now, I'll say we're stagnant. Going forward, that's the question. Are we going to be trending upwards or are we going to be trending downwards after this season? That's hard to tell. I think we have a solid recruiting class coming in. We need to hold on to these guys and obviously add some more guys. I don't like the fact that there's a lot of kids, man, that's recruited to this recruiting class. A lot of them are talking about taking visits now. But that's to be expected when you go out there and you lose some of these games that we should have won. I'm glad to see. So there's the rumors out there that King, the Houston quarterback, is already silently committed to play for Florida State next year. I think that's a big deal because I think that adds instant stability at that position. Because going into next year, that's a big question mark, that quarterback position. Me personally, I'm of the mindset you start Jeff Sims from day one next year. If you don't get King, I'm from the mindset Jeff Sims is your day one starter next year. I don't see a reason for them to play anybody else. But if you get King, bam, that's stability. Now you can really gear in on that O-line, which I think is in solid hands going forward. When you got two freshmen, Baselli, I think your right tackle and your left guard position are going to be the two questions you have going forward. Do you continue to go with Brady Scott, or do you maybe put in you rotate Brady and you try to get a transfer guy? Do you move Bavion over to that guard spot? That'd be interesting to see if Bavion can play that spot. And then at the right tackle, I think you would probably have to add in another transfer over there. I know we got Chaz Neal. I don't know how developed he is to really play that position. But I think your O-line is in a solid spot going forward. And that's mainly because you're getting these young guys reps right now. And I like that. I think the roster as a whole is solid because I think some of the key players are young players, like Coop and Durden are young players. Your linebackers are young. Your secondary is young. You get rid of Stanford Samuel and Levante Taylor, everybody else in that secondary, I think, is like a freshman. So I think the roster going forward is young. I think the biggest issue you're gonna have is solidifying your O-line. Obviously, I think if you don't have that transfer, that could cause some hiccups in that quarterback room. Obviously, I don't expect Harlan Barnett to be there next year on the defense, which means that's a plus. Ultimately, going into next year, there's a couple things that have to happen. You have to address the O-line, which you got a good mix of some young talent coming in, but you need those, maybe some JUCO guys, maybe some grad transfer guys. Excuse me. Bam, you get that done. Willie's got to address his own coaching staff. I think offensively, I think a coaching staff is as solid as it's going to get. I have no problems. Kendall Browse, I like him. I like Kendall. I like Dugans. I like Clemens. I like Pimp. I like Kelly. I like the offensive staff. I really do. Defensively, you almost need a complete overhaul. I don't have a problem with Raymond Woody, but we don't have a DB coach. I love Odell, so you keep Odell. You can keep Raymond Woody. Harlan's got to go. We don't have a DB coach. I think Snyder. I don't have a problem with Snyder. I think he brings a good amount of energy. So maybe not a complete overhaul, but at least you need a DC, which I think that will be Levitt, and then you need a DB coach. The question is, who's that DB coach going to be? That's going to be extremely interesting. My first candidate is T-Buck. Go get T-Buck from Mississippi State. I know he's from Mississippi, but the man's a Seminole. Go get him. If you can't get T-Buck, it'll be very interesting to see if they can get a guy like Primetime on the staff. The only reason I say that is Primetime coaches his son's football team. Well, Shedeur Sanders next year will be committing to some school. That'd be the perfect time to transition and get Florida State. I mean, colleges do this all the time. You hire a kid's dad and get the kid or whatever. The only difference is I don't think you have to hire Primetime to get Shedeur Sanders. I mean, Dion, it's like Derek Brooks is on the sideline every day at Florida State. He's damn near a coach. They just don't have him. So it's that type of deal I think you could do. That's what I think about the program going forward, really. Should Taggart be fired? No, obviously not. Not in my opinion. Not after a year and a half. That I've been steadfast on that. I'm not going to change that. If we would have to lose the rest of the games this season for me to go, okay. And since I know that's not going to happen, I'm going to stick to my guns. Taggart does not need to be fired after 1 year and a half. Why does he need to be fired? Because we lost to a Wake Forest team? How bad did Dabo Swinney struggle in his first couple years at Clemson? See, good programs or programs that build to something. Why do you think Florida has been in the state they had been in until they got Mullins, and Mullins turned it around fairly quickly? But Florida kept firing guys. Now, granted, those guys weren't getting done, but you can't keep firing guys and expect to get any type of. You got to let a guy build something. Kudos to Clemson, because even when Dabo struggled early, they never blinked. They never said, nah. They said, you know what? Let that guy build. Coach Taggart just has to build, man. We gotta give him a chance. Now, the jury be out at the end of year 3. At the end of year 3, we could be having a whole different conversation. Maybe even midway through the year 3. We'll have to see how the team plays. But I mean, you got to understand, man. There's been solid growth from year 1 to year 2. If you watched last year, you know how bad that team was and how it hurt. In all my years of watching Florida State football that I can remember off the top of my head, I can't remember a year like last year. Even the year before that wasn't as bad as last year. It just hurt to watch them. Last year, I went into every game saying, man, we ain't beating them. It hurt to watch that Syracuse game. It hurt to watch them last year. This year, it hasn't hurt to watch them. It's the result has hurt because we've been winning so many of these games that you're like, damn, can we close out a game? But we need to learn to win. We don't have a team full of winners. No one on this team knows how to win. That's why Cam goes and fumbles balls at critical times, right? Because he hasn't learned to win yet. That's why James Blackman can't get out of his tunnel vision and scan the field and figure out, I need to make, because he doesn't know how to win. We don't have a bunch of winners on this team. So we need to learn to win. We're 4-4. You get in there and you can beat Miami and learn to win. That's really the state of the program, is that we are middle of the pack. We are stagnant right now. I will say we are stagnant. I do not think we're going downwards. I think we are stagnant with a slight increase. And I say the slight increase because they've made some changes that I'm a fan of. Again, starting a true freshman as left tackle. Why not? The ones you had weren't getting it done anyway. So why not start the freshman? And if you're going to take your L's, you take your lumps. But that, to me, that's how you build, in my opinion. What's the point of playing the senior who's getting whooped and not helping you? Play the young kid and let him learn the game on the that's just, in my opinion, I've been saying that about the linebacking core all year. What's the point of playing D-Jack, consistently play out of position and not do anything, when the young kids can do the same thing and they can grow and learn from that experience. So I think we're a little bit stagnant. I think we have a slight incline going forward. It's really going to depend on what does Coach Taggart do staff-wise. It's really going to set this team up for next year. I don't want to talk about next year's too much, like if this year's dead, because we still have a lot to play for. You got Miami. We haven't beat Miami in 2 years. Should have beat them last year. We didn't get it done. This is a perfect time. They're not a very good football team. Beat Miami. So you can beat Miami. You can beat Boston College. You're almost guaranteed to win against the Alabama State team. Now, you got momentum. You can go into that Florida game with momentum. Anything can happen in that game. I mean, that's my mindset. That's where I'm at with this team. I am not as down on this team as everybody else. Have I been frustrated? Hell yeah, I've been frustrated. But I'm glad I chose to do this video at the time I chose to do it. Had I did it a week ago, yeah, I probably would have been a lot more negative like a lot of you guys. But no. Firing him, that's ridiculous. And to me, that's the sign, but that's the sign of a weak fan base. We have a weak fan base right now. And the fan base is divided. You can tell who's been an FSU fan for a while, and you can tell who's brand new to the scene. If you ain't 10 toes down, if you ain't been 10 toes down from, hell, I've been 10 toes down since 95. I know I don't look that old, I got a baby face and all that. But yeah, I've been 10 toes down since I can remember. I remember one of the reasons I even started liking Florida State, I was a kid. They were playing Florida on the TV. And you know why I chose Florida State over Florida? I heard the damn war chant. I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. But I've been watching for that long. I remember watching that, was it the 96 championship against Florida? I remember watching that. I remember watching the Virginia Tech national champion. I remember all of those things, man. But you have there's fans that they've only been fans since 2013. And they're the young kids who are misguided in their thought process that I think that I guess we're supposed to be Alabama every year. We're not. And there's no other program in the country that's really on Alabama's level every year. Clemson's the closest thing now. I mean, Ohio State's up there. Those are kind of the teams. But the fact is, Jimbo didn't do. We were trending. We should be what Clemson is now. We were trending that. Jimbo dropped the ball. That's just what it is, man. Jimbo dropped the ball, and he let this thing, and it doesn't help that we're not exactly, Florida State doesn't have like billionaires backing it. So we're in an interesting position as a Southern football team. We don't have as much money, I think, as some of these other programs. But we still, we'll be all right. You guys got to go out there, man. We got to, if we're packing Doak Campbell and I know it's, but hell, Tennessee is what, 1-4, 2-5 or something. And guess what Tennessee does? They pack their stadium every Saturday. I don't understand why we can't do the same thing, Florida State. We gotta, protect our home. We have to really support our program. If you don't like Coach Taggart, man, that's fine. You have your reasons, and you're allowed not to like him for whatever reason you like, do or don't. But support the program. Support the program. Help us build something that we can be proud of. I'm proud of this university. I bleed it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not proud to be a part of this fan base right now. I read the stuff y'all write on Twitter and on these damn message boards, man. A lot of it is, I just roll my eyes so much at all of it. There's people I've unfollowed. If I haven't unfollowed some of you guys, I mute you. Y'all say some dumb shit. But y'all don't know any better. But again, I'm 10 toes down on this. And even when I'm at my worst, I'm not like you guys. You got to have a bit of damn Seminole pride in you. That's the state. The program's fine. I'm just going to say that right now. The program's fine. I have faith. And from what I've seen, and not even fine, it ain't blind faith. I'm looking at what I'm looking at. And I know Kendall Browns gets his quarterback in, we'll be okay. I know once we recruit, get some of this offensive line, continue to progress the guys that we got, we'll be okay. You can see the progress offensively. We saw it game 1 of this year. From last year, we saw it game 1. That's a fact. Defensively, there's a lot to be desired. I'm hoping a change of coordinator changes the defense. That's where I'm at defensively on that. So, yes, I need to see more growth defensively. Offensively, I think we're trending like this, in my opinion. I don't really care what anybody says on that. I think we're up here. Defensively, we're not as much. Again, we need to get some better coaching on that defensive side of the ball. So the program, while from a record standpoint, like I said, it's stagnant. We're 500. I think it's slightly increased. We start winning these games, I'll see the program start doing this. Because I think that's where we're headed. The fan base is fucking nosediving. We're tumbling. We're divided. That's because you got people that know football and people that don't know football talking football. I see a lot of these dumb people on Twitter don't know what the hell they talking about when it comes to just football. Then you got, and yeah, I'm going to say it, then you got people wanting Taggart out of there because of his race. And if you don't think that's a thing, they've already exposed plenty of Florida State fans that have already criticized Taggart for just that, like the race thing. The South is a real deal, man. I know we don't, but y'all, a lot of people, y'all like to pretend that race don't matter. Oh, it matters. Taggart ain't did himself no favors, but that don't mean we should be out here, or y'all should be out here holding your pitchforks and torches, wanting to get him out of here just because he ain't winning at the clip you want him to win at. It's just amazing that it's amazing how some guys are afforded more time than other guys. How a fan can yell at Taggart, F you, and someone tell me that that's not race related, that's all football related. If you believe that, you're allowed to believe that. But anybody with any sense knows that's not true. A lot of the Taggart's hate is because of his race. It just is what it is. So, if you don't like when I say stuff like that, I'm sorry, you can definitely unsubscribe. But I'm not going to hold back my punches or how I feel. That's why I made this, to express how I feel. The fact is, as a fan base, man, the state of the fan base is dumpster fire. We got some of the worst fans maybe in college football. And I guess you see that when you lose. But there's a lot of people that I respect that I've met on Twitter, and I respect their opinion. And the ones I don't, I just, get rid of it. But there's a lot of you guys out here, man. Y'all gotta put it away. Put the hate away. Like I'm glancing. You look at the type of quality of players we're bringing in. I think that's a big thing. And I'm glancing at my Twitter feed, man, because I'm looking for an example. I see, like, right here, Freddie Stevenson. You guys remember Freddie? I don't know if you guys can see it. Hold on. Right there, Freddie Stevenson. He felt the need to get on Twitter and go, "Coach, don't show emotion, huh?" Why would he even have to tweet that? Because there's stupid people on this app. He needs to show like he cared. Why does he have to act how you want him to act? Like he needs to be show like he really wants to be here. Oh, he has to act how you want him to act. Now that's very interesting. That's extremely interesting in my opinion. And this right here, that's a video of there's a video of the incident after the game, and the fans and all that, and the players went to bat for Taggart. You know, and I'm just, I'm reaching the end of the video for the most part. I think I've covered a lot of how I feel. I've said things on my social media, mainly as a joke, about getting rid of Taggart, and that's just out of frustration. Those are usually straight after the game comments and tweets. The fact is, he needs the rest of this year, and next year we'll revisit the situation. But I do not believe a year and a half into this, and we should just be talking about, oh, let's fire Taggart. I don't see it, man. I'm still glancing. I don't really see anything. But yeah, so I'm not gonna waste you guys' time anymore. That's the state of the Florida State program, in my opinion. I don't think Taggart deserves to be fired yet. He needs to improve, or we can start having that conversation. I personally think it's too early to have the conversation. I think people that's going to sit here and pretend like, we're at this all-time low. I don't know if you've watched Florida State football long enough to even say that. And that includes some of you guys that are paid to write about this program. Some of y'all ain't even watched this team long enough. But yep, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Those are my thoughts on where we're at and where we're going. Again, like I said in the beginning, like, comment, subscribe, share it if you like what you hear. If you don't, then don't. Hit a dislike. I like those dislikes, to be honest with you. Lets me know that at least you're listening to me. Go Noles, man. Signing out.